How's it going, YouTube? PSU Mike here. My video submission for Eloy The Goat Flores. Congratulations on 1,000 subs, bud. So, I also was a coach for a brief time while I was in college, still my last year of college. So, I understand where you're coming from with this video. So, for my response to this, I'm going to go back to when I played lacrosse in 8th grade. Just give you an overview. 7th grade, I was my first year. I played goalie because I wasn't that great yet, but it was a good learning experience. My 8th grade year, I'll put you this way. I even found newspaper clippings. So we went 2-2 or 1-1 the 1 week. I scored 3 goals in both games. As you can see right there's that one there. I can get this to focus. There. And we're 3 goals. Then in the other one, also 3 goals. If I can get it to happen. Come on. So that happened. And then a couple weeks later in a different game, it was a 4-4 tie at half. And our face-off guy he won every face-off the second quarter or the second half. But in this one, you can see Mike Imler scored 5 goals that game. So I became pretty good my 8th grade year. The 2 games I scored 3 goals the previous week. We won 5-3, and I think we lost 5-6. So I scored 50% of the goals that time, and then when I scored the 5 goals, I think we won 8 by 8 or 8 to something or another. I wouldn't want to say that I was I needed to be on the field for wins. I'm sure that the team would have been good without me. But I learned a lot that year. And what I learned was, be a teammate first. And I also learned why I wanted to be in politics. So that's why I went to college for political science. On our way to a game in Cumberland Valley, what happened was we got to get a charter bus. First time that we ever got to get one, and me and a couple other players, the 8th graders, captains of the team, who sat in the back of the bus. And those buses, the windows dropped to just about seat level. An off-duty cop was driving home from work, I guess, and was driving past us, and we were waving out the window to her, just, fooling around like kids do. And she flipped us off. So now that didn't go into her report. What happened next did. One of the players on the team drew a colorful little description of 2 round balloons and a big balloon in the front. It looked like a male genitalia, and they were balloons. So he wrote "blow me" underneath of it. Another student flipped her off back. Another one of the players. Myself, I mooned her. I pulled my rear end out and I put it up against the window and mooned her. We got to the game. We played. I think we lost by 1. And when we got back to the school, our coach chewed us out. There was discussion of getting kicked off the team. There was discussion of suspensions. Now me, like I said, this is what kind of drove me into wanting to do politics. What I did was I wrote a very, very sincere sounding apology. I sent it to the school board. I sent it to the police station where this female off-duty cop worked, and I sent it to the coaching staff for the lacrosse team. I meant 0 of it. Didn't mean a word of it. but I must have been the only student to write a letter because the other students involved were each suspended for 3 games that year. I didn't receive a single game suspension. I learned my lesson. You don't do that. Um, but at the same time, I'd like to think part of me not getting a suspension was, the aforementioned articles I showed you where I was a pretty dominant player. Part of it was the other players weren't as dominant, but I my memory would be that, not the best thing in the world, but at the time I got myself out of a bad situation by doing the right thing, whether I meant it or not. Um, and even when I coached lacrosse up here in the State College area, Bellefonte, for my players, I told them to, that they represented the school first, the team second, and me. So I didn't share that story with them, but I let them know that their actions could have consequences and yada, yada, yada. And I told them that I learned that when I played. So I took a mistake that I made when I played and I transferred it to them in a positive way. Um, that's my memory, though, is, a bus ride that went wrong for reasons it didn't need to, um, and how I learned and grew from that. Um, Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It went a little long. Enjoy Kerry Collins in the background. As always, we are